Yeah, this is the first day we've had a chance to have the window open. Abso-flippin'-lutely. Beautiful, beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's pretty obvious that our new construction cone business is continuing to thrive here in downtown St. Catharines. Yeah, keep up the good work. Thanks. Hey, welcome to Season 6, Episode 10 of Niagara 411 Live with Sterry. We are fueled by Gale's Gas Bars, powered by WeeStreem, supported by Sandra's Home Health Care, Virgin Insurance, Ace Alignment, Mac Outpost. Just a pleasure to have you here. And we are just about to enter our bi-weekly home of Fiddler's Poorhouse at 149 St. Paul Street in downtown St. Catharines. That has been getting a lot of attention because of all of my construction cones and the great job they're doing on the sidewalks here. Those are your specialities for today at Fiddler's. So come on in. We have some good stuff. And well, it's all good information, but some really positive stuff to talk about. We're going to wrap up a 3-year-long story today, and I suppose it's good in one way in the fact that it's closure, not so good in another way because the result wasn't what people might have wished for in the end, but we'll talk more about that. There's an event coming up in, about 50 minutes from now at 12:55 that is going to affect your life. I guarantee you. That's coming up. We'll tell you more about that right off the top of the show. So in the meantime, hang around or relax. Continue to enjoy the stream here on Niagara 411 Live with Sterry, and we'll see you in about 30 seconds. Come on in. Hey, as I mentioned outside, beautiful day. Finally, after a whole pile of rain, we had a little bit of a mini flood at the Sterry household. I don't know about you. Not a big problem, but we had some mopping up to do. We've had kind of a wet week over the last little while, but things are turning around, and here we are on this beautiful Wednesday, May the 7th. Hopefully you had a good May the 4th be with you. You know, Star Wars vacation day. As we get into Niagara 411 Live with Sterry, Season 6, Episode 10. Okay, as I mentioned outside and inside, there is an event coming up that is going to impact your life. It's not going to change your world, but it might take you by surprise. So that it doesn't take you by surprise, I want to mention this right now. As of 12:55, so we're talking 50 minutes from now, 50 minutes from now, there's going to be a test of the Canada Alert Ready system, which means that your TVs, your radios, your cell phones, your dog's electric collar is going to go woo. It's going to there are going to be all kinds of sounds bombarding you from all over whatever electronic instruments or devices you may be near. And I just wanted to remind you right now that that's going to be happening to you, and it'll be happening to us probably at 12:55 Eastern Daylight Time. The Canada Alert Ready System test is going to happen. I don't know how long those tests take. Kevin Jack, ladies and gentlemen, on the right-hand side of your screen, he is the executive producer of this program, also the co-founder of WeeStreem with his partner Brandon Scram, with his resplendent, he is resplendent in his Toronto Maple Leafs gear. Look at that. Now, what I want to draw attention to here is the hat. Dip your head a little bit there, Kevin. Is that not a beautiful hat? I think that is one of the best. I think that is one of the nicest logoed sports caps that I have seen in a long, long time.
Oh, yeah, she's a nice one.
That's a beauty. That's a beauty. Heading into game 2, of course, round 2, against those pesky Panthers. And Kevin's all decked out. How you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing great, man. Very excited for game number 2 tonight. And
right.
Lee, we don't have to get too much into the weeds here of talking hockey, but
No.
I played a lot of it, continue to play a lot of it. Played in some game 7s myself, and I was watching game 1 there on Monday night, and I turned to my wife, and as Toronto was up 4-1, I turned to her and I said, somebody's going to run our goalie, and Toronto's going to do nothing about it.
And that
lo and
pretty much
behold,
happened.
10, 15 minutes later, because that's what happens. That's what happens. You're down 4-1 in game 1 of a best of 7.
That's how you play the
run
game.
the goalie.
That's how you play the game.
That's what you do.
And
So anyway, I don't want to get too much into that, but I was literally watching the game going, well, this is going to happen, and Toronto won't react. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, but that's okay. A win is a win. A W is a W. And the naysayers can say what they want. But if you go into a game and you don't expect your competition to score goals, you're going in with the wrong mindset. That's not a good attitude. You got to know your competition is going to score goals. You just have to score more than they do, and that's pretty much what happened.
So game 2 tonight, but later on in the show, we're going to be talking about another best of 7 series because game 4 is tomorrow night. So if you're a Leaf fan locally and you love hockey, you can go and support the local Junior Bees tomorrow night when the Leafs have an off night.
Yeah. So St. Catharines is playing Chatham in game 4. We're going to be talking to Tyler Bielby, the head coach, before this show is out. So hang on. That's coming up about 1:10. Before we go any further with the program, though, Kevin, I want to remind folks we can do the share thing. If you're on Niagara 411, which of course is where you're viewing this program, you do a little refresh to bring you up to date with where we are, which means you're going to see our show where we're talking right now. There's a few seconds delay, of course, because of the communication time. Then you go to this, we would appreciate it if you did this, go to the little share arrow at the bottom right, and then a window comes up and it says share now. And if you could, you don't have to make a comment or anything, just hit the share now button and bada boom, bada bing. Bob is your very friendly uncle. And there we go. We would appreciate that you do that. And while we're talking about the technology of the program, want to remind you, it's something we didn't do the last time that we were here, and this is, you know what an open line radio show is? You know, where we used to do talk radio and people would call in and you'd have conversations, you'd pass opinions, or you'd bring up a topic you wanted to talk about, etc. It was called call-in talk show, call-in radio, whatever. Well, this is kind of the concept upon which Kevin originally designed this program, was to be that sort of program, but with pictures included. What a concept. So this is basically a call-in television show. It is interactive when you want it to be. It is an online live stream television show with the unique wrinkle that you can come in and participate at any time you like. Now, we have a guest coming up, but not until about 12:50 or so, in about half an hour, 35, 40 minutes. So in the meantime, you can join us. It doesn't matter what we are talking about, what things we bring up. If there's something you want to talk about or you want to make a comment on something we are talking about, all you have to do is click on the link at the bottom of the stream that you're watching right now. And when you click on that link, it's a Zoom style link. It will take you to our green room, which is the cool communication talk for a waiting room. And Kevin will see you there, and he'll make sure that we can connect with you visually as well as audibly. And when we go, we'll have a conversation. So please feel free. I don't want you to feel intimidated because, oh, these guys are media people and they don't want to talk to me. We do want to talk to you. We honest to God really do. And so I want to make sure that we reinforce the fact that this is your program. It was based on the concept of a Niagara-based show for Niagarans, done by Niagarans in Niagara, and those are the things that we focus on. You can go to any news network or anything online and find out who's going to be Pope. That doesn't matter. You can go to any online place or any news network and find out what happened with Carney and Trump. You can do that anywhere. So we don't do this stuff, because why bother? There are 8,000 people around the world already doing it. What we do is focus on Niagara and things that are here. And we might dip our toe outside of the perimeter a little bit, but only as it relates to the Niagara region. And that's what it's all about. And we are in a sort of a pseudo loosely based partnership, or if you will, collaboration with Niagara 411, the Facebook news and information site. And for that, we thank Nick, and we appreciate Nick's participation with us. And we use him, and he uses us, and we benefit from the collaboration of you people that are contributors to Niagara 411. So it's all of a nice little kumbaya moment. All right. So this is your show, I guess, is the basics of what we're talking about here. All right. One of the other things that we alluded to when we were coming in is we sort of pride ourselves on this show of not losing the thread of stories that are important to Niagara. That shot you're seeing right there now, ladies and gentlemen, is our just a really luxurious television set that we have here at Fiddler's Poorhouse at 149 St. Paul Street in St. Catharines. That's about as luxurious as it gets for Kevin and I. But it's fun, and it works, and that's what's important. Going back, yeah, what?
Yeah,
Kevin? What do you want? What do you want?
I'm kind of offering you a segue here. Well, just want to talk about the show and how inclusive it is, and how we encourage people to come on and talk about things whenever they want, but we also reach out to people in the community. And I know this next story is something that we've been following for a couple of years. Yeah. And we spoke in the past to Jennifer Adamson, and I believe Nicholas's brother as well. And
yeah, that's kind of where I was going, is the fact that we do pride ourselves on trying to complete the circle, bring, if not closure, some sort of ending, if you will, to things we've been talking about. So way back 3 years ago, 2022, we did this story. Nicholas Adamson disappeared in the wee small hours of St. Patrick's Day morning. It was late March the 16th into early hours of March the 17th. From the Moose and Goose in Thorold, disappeared. And it has been a story of great conversation and great coverage, and that's one that we've stayed close to. We've talked to Nick's brother, we've talked to his mom before a couple times, and we've stayed close to this story over the last 3 years, and it was just this April 24th, the Niagara Regional Police Service received a DNA hit notification from the RCMP National Center for Missing Persons and Identified Remains, positively identifying the Hamilton remains found in the Hamilton Harbor as Nicholas Adamson. Closure, yes. An ending, yes, but not a lot of answers. The missing person investigation will now be closed. Foul play is not expected. We don't refer to ourselves necessarily as journalists, per se, because like a New York Times guy or a Washington Post guy or an LA Times, they wouldn't refer to Kevin and I as journalists, but yet we try to follow that kind of mantra, if you will. And there are many, many questions that you have, that we have, that the family, for that matter, has, as to not just the disappearance, but what would have transpired between Nicholas's disappearance and his finding, if you will, in Hamilton Harbor 3 years after the fact. How did he get there? What happened? What transpired? How do you get from the Moose and Goose and Thorold to floating in Hamilton Harbor with no foul play being suspected. I know. Those answers we will probably never have. And our condolences and thoughts go out to the family. I can't imagine what range of emotions must be flowing through the consciousness of that family, and they have the same questions and would like the same answers that we do. Jennifer Bill Adamson says, we'd like to thank family, friends, and group members for their condolences. We thank everyone for keeping Nicholas Adamson in their thoughts, for trying to find him and caring for him. Although we still do not have answers, we want to remember him as a funny, kind man. We'll forever hold him in our hearts, love him, and miss him. And I guess that's the end of the day. What is important? Hold somebody warmly in your hearts. Nicholas has been recovered. The family can now at least begin to heal. As Winston Churchill once said many, many years ago, this is not the beginning of the end, but at least it is the end of the beginning. And I guess that's about the best we can say. So, again, condolences. Now, this one comes obviously with as many captions as you want to put to your own your own evaluation or interpretation of this. So here's a guy, and with all due deference to Nick, I got to play a little fun with you here, Nick, from Niagara 411. This appeared as the possible violin scam in St. Catharines. This at Lake and Lakeshore, not far from where I live, at the No Frills shopping plaza right there on Lakeshore Road at the corner of Lake Street. And this is a possible violin scam. Well, now we talked about the violin scam last a couple of weeks ago. We'll talk more about that in a minute. But to me, the only scam here is an accordion pretending to be a violin. I think that's the scam that we have going on.
Now, Lee, do you think he was smart enough to play accordion music out of the speaker, or was he playing violin music?
Kevin, I hope so. See, just in case you're not familiar with the violin scam, there was great hoopla about the fact that people, and this is all through the U.S. and Canada and all the rest, is the fact that guys would show up with their families even and play a violin, but there would be like recorded violin music coming out of a speaker, and he'd just be pretending to bow the strings and play the violin and asking for money. And our question a couple of weeks ago was, is this a scam? Obviously, the guy wants your money. You don't have to give it to him. He's not fooling you. It's out there, except for the fact that he might not really be playing the violin. But so what? He's out there putting on a show, however he puts on the show. There's one of the violiners right there. But he's putting on a show and he wants your money for it. He's not just standing there with a sign saying, God bless. I mean, at least he's trying. I don't think of that as a scam. But the accordion is trying to be a violinist. Now that's kind of a scam.
I didn't know that we had video here with some sound. So here, let's.
Oh, we have some sound?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Getting ourselves wired for sound here.
Well, let's do it.
All right, let's see
if we got it.
Yeah, let's see if we can.
Oh, this is just so cool. I mean, when is this?
Sorry, man. I just want to let you know this is a scam. He's not actually playing. If you pull up Shazam right now, you'll realize that he's just playing an audio recording.
Of course, yeah, it sounds too good.
Notice his fingers have not moved. He's just playing the two same spots each time.
But so should he be arrested for pretending to play the violin? How many singers?
Not high at all. It stays in the same spot each time. Yeah. Yeah, no. So
the things that
it's a problem that they're doing. We've talked a few times.
Somebody get this guy a steady cam.
You're a scam artist. You're not really playing the violin. You should be arrested.
I won't get to it.
You know what? This guy's he's a better fake violin player than this guy is a fake videographer.
I know. Look at the terrible video.
But this has got to be the Walmart in Niagara Falls.
I don't know.
Yeah, this is the one at McLeod and the QEW.
Is it?
Pretty sure. Yeah, here, let's...
But I mean, God, you're not really playing the violin. You just want my money to pretend to play the violin.
Playing an audio recorder.
Hey, I want your money however you want to give it to
Yeah.
me.
So you notice his fingers have not moved. He's just playing the two same spots each time. So it's a common scam that they do in Niagara Falls now. Notice his hand's not going high at all. It stays in the same spot each time.
It's not a scam.
Yeah, no. So it's
He's pretending to do something so you give him your money. Sorry. There are people that sit outside liquor stores and grocery stores and Walmarts that sit there with hats. They're not even trying to entertain you. They just want to show you their hat. Put money in it. At least this guy's trying. He got a speaker. He got an instrument. He got a thing.
Let's see if anybody else left video or photos.
I mean,
but
come
people
on.
are saying, yeah, and they're asking the same questions we are. Like, how is this?
How are
is
they
this a scam?
scamming? There's a tune coming out of a speaker, and he wants you to give him money to listen to it. What's the dealio? Oh my God! People are just trying to get by. People are trying to buy eggs and milk, feed their families. That's not a scam. Oh, speaking of hats, this is the new Beau Chapeau. Took my sorry old butt over to Queen Street in Niagara-on-the-Lake to visit Beau Chapeau, Kevin Neufeld and his fabulous staff, and this is the new summer straw. Like, isn't that pretty? I love it. Staff did a great job helping me out because what happened about a year ago is I had a beautiful straw hat that I got from Beau Chapeau, and like an idiot, I left it somewhere. It was one of my favorite hats of all time, and I left it somewhere, and I've been looking for something to replace it with, and finally, I found this guy, and I love it so much, and beauchapeau.com is the place to go. Over 10,000 hats at any one time are in there, and there's hats coming in, like different hats every week, different genres, different seasons, etc. And
well, here's an interesting hat fact. Lee, did you know this?
I didn't know. Happy birthday to the late John B. Stetson, the inventor of the iconic Stetson hat. He was born May the 5th. That's the same birthday as my dad. My dad was born on May the 5th, 1830. Also known as the father of the cowboy hat. He was born in Orange, New Jersey, and later moved west, where he created the famous Stetson hat.
No.
And they have Stetsons at Beau Chapeau as well. I mean, real authentic Stetson hats.
Now, Lee, weren't you telling me that you went in there and they said that you get some sort of warranty with your hat?
I did with the hat I was wearing. It was a really nice felt hat. You've seen me wear it on the show before. It's a black felt hat. And the young lady that was waiting on me for it was fabulous. And she said, "Would you, while you're looking around, would you like me to treat your hat, rejuvenate it, or give it a..." Sure. So I took the hat off. She took it into the back where they do their repairs and their construction and all the rest of it, and gave it a clean up for me, and came out looking brand new, just as a courtesy. And then she told me, by the way, this hat is under guarantee for a year. I don't know if all the hats are. That particular one was that I'd purchased about 3 years ago now. And it's just their service and their I guess their customer concern and their knowledge is beyond compare. They just do fabulous work. And so anyway, this is the new one. Hopefully I don't do something stupid and lose it like I did the last nice straw hat.
Lee, for all the guys out here, and I'll piggyback on Beau Chapeau's post that Mother's Day is in fact this weekend.
Yes.
Folks, so
No,
if you're stuck...
that looks like something the Queen would wear right there.
Yeah, but if you're stuck for Mom, go visit Kevin and the staff out at Beau Chapeau in Niagara-on-the-Lake. Get it done. One-stop shopping for Mother's Day. Put a smile on her face.
Take Mom with you. By the way,
Take a better idea.
Take Mom with you and stroll through this shop, because I'm telling you, you can spend ages in there. Anyway, we'd love to thank Beau Chapeau for supporting the program, and I love your stuff and I love your people. It's just a great one of Niagara's independent business treasures. It really is, honest to goodness. Okay, so we'll move off the violin scam now. I think, obviously, Kevin, one of the most talked about stories in Niagara over the last number of weeks, and even months for that matter, is the jewelry store heist, or multiple heists actually, in the small town of Grimsby. But this is major Hollywood movie stuff. When you look at all the number of videos that were posted on Niagara 411 and elsewhere about this jewelry store that keeps getting hits. And there's one of the videos we're playing for you right now. Watch it. And then these hooded masked dudes go away, and this guy comes out with a tire iron. They're trying to get away. And what? Bam! Whoever this guy is, I'd love to talk to him. Bam! He keeps smashing the car.
Yeah, I think he was a bystander, Lee.
He was.
Well, here, you know what? Let's back up in time a little bit. This was the very first post I think anybody saw.
He was a guy in a suit that smashed the windows. So here's somebody filming, obviously, from inside their own vehicle. He states the obvious.
I think there was a swear coming up here, but it's understandable.
Ah, well. It's the internet. Can't regulate the internet. So listen.
Up into the store. Right over there. Because there's a truck facing this way.
Okay, yeah. Oh.
And I'm pretty sure that's in the Harmony's Jewelers. See, everybody's videotaping.
Harmony Jewelers.
And they're running out. I see one guy right there. Look. There they are across the street. There they go. There they go. Oh, my God.
That's the ones that were in the mall. Oh, my God.
Yes, it's the same fucking
ones. That's the ones. I saw it on Facebook. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
What gets me is why can't the cops just catch them?
Yeah, why can't the cops just catch them?
Look.
The blood of Jesus.
Oh, dear
Everybody's
Lord.
standing around. This truck backed through the window. Obviously a stolen vehicle.
I have the video of them running away.
Gee. And then, of course, they run out in disarray after doing whatever they did in the store. I don't know that anybody ever said what they actually stole, Kevin.
I don't think they got anything. Because after the last time Harmony Jewelers got robbed, they installed shatterproof glass. So the guys came in with the expectation that it would just be a smash and grab. And when they smashed, nothing smashed. And then I guess, their internal clock was going off or whatever it is, okay, let's get the hell out of here. So they left apparently with like nothing.
And then they they get into this white Honda. And this other dude, this concerned citizen, comes out of nowhere with a tire iron and starts smashing the windows, and they drive away. But this is this now the third? And there's another version of a video right there. There are many videos taken of this thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's got to take some time to drive a big truck like that, big Ram truck, turn it around and back it through the window, and then run in and then run out to go to another car, which was also a stolen car.
Of course, all the vehicles were stolen.
Of course. So this sounds like something that was incredibly well planned, but not very smoothly executed. And there's another video right there. Another concerned citizen with a camera phone. Oh, yeah, this is the best one where you see the guy busting the windshield. Or one of the best ones, anyway. And then here he comes. Bam! Bam! God bless him. That is so cool.
Jesus Christ.
Somebody not just standing by and letting things unfold. He actually tried to take action to stop these cretins from getting away. But now, Kevin,
Yeah.
Is there not a really base question to this whole thing? Why is this one particular spot the target of these wacko thieves? Harmony Jewelers, Grimsby by the lake. You could see the little archway
Oh,
there.
no, that's downtown Grimsby.
Oh, this was downtown Grimsby?
Yeah, right downtown Main Street, like right across
well,
from
because
Teddy's.
I was at first I thought that was exactly where it was, but then I saw the archway. So they've got an archway downtown, and they also have an archway in the Grimsby by the lake area?
Yeah, they do. So if you look here,
okay.
Lee, and here, I'll just back it up. I mean...
Oh, yeah, that's downtown. Yeah, right.
That's
Yeah,
CIBC right there, right in front of there in that archway.
Yeah,
that's
so-
where WeeStream are positioned every December to live
On
stream
the
the
parade.
Grimsby Santa Claus Parade.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
right
yeah.
there. So, I mean, we know this well.
But what took me off guard was that archway in
Yeah.
the one video, because that looks like the place where it says Grimsby on the
Well, I think Grimsby on the Lake was just borrowing. But yeah, I mean, these videos are just insane. And there was, some passive criticism of all the people, filming instead of helping. But
Well, what are you gonna do?
There's also reports that they had a gun. And I'm like, well, hey. I mean, I really was trying to scour to find out who Crowbar Guy was.
Yeah, we would love to talk to that guy.
Now, Lee, have you seen this footage yet from inside the store?
Maybe just once. I haven't really paid close attention to it. Okay.
So here we are, just a normal day.
Yeah, just a
downtown
regular day at the job in the jewelry store. And then bam. God. And that guy, he was somewhere and got thrown inside. And then here come the bandits. Kevin, I wonder if these people in the hoods and the masks are still young, underage people. Are they not adults? Is there somebody orchestrating this thing from above? Some puppet master?
Now, just so you know,
the puppets?
This photo here is actually from the first robbery back in January. So we don't know if, in fact, they are the same people. But, yeah, I mean, that's the weird thing, right, is in similar incidents across southern Ontario, we've seen that most of the people that are charged are, in fact, young offenders. Like you're saying, suggesting that there's a...
I'm suggesting that there's some sort of puppet master somewhere, some criminal, what he thinks is a mastermind, recruiting underage thugs to do this stuff, so they're not going to get adult sentences and they'll be tried as juveniles, etc., just kind of as a criminal group cell plan, if you will.
Now, Lee, I have not seen this, and this is kind of a comical take on it, scouring the interwebs, and came across this.
Donate to Buy Crowbar Vigilante Guy a Beer. Organized by Duncan Story. Duncan, way to go. $820 now raised. That buys a lot of beer. Donate as little as $5. After yesterday's robbery in Grimsby, Ontario at Harmony Jewelers, the residents have spoken. Hundreds have expressed their thanks to Crowbar Vigilante Guy. Most want to shake his hand and buy him a beer. I do. In a word full of bystanders, be a Crowbar Vigilante Guy. The man is a hero. Let's all pitch in to give this outstanding Citizen of the Year. He risked his life to fight back and deserves a reward. Buy Crowbar Vigilante Guy a beer if you're able to at that link.
Let's see where this brings us. You know what? I should have reached out to whoever started this GoFundMe. My assumption is he knows Crowbar Vigilante Guy.
Or he is Crowbar Vigilante Guy.
There you go, Duncan Story.
This fundraiser is no longer accepting donations. I guess $850 is enough to buy somebody a beer. After today's robbery in Grimsby, Ontario.
Sorry, I think it's kind of the same thing.
It's the same
right?
thing, yeah.
Vigilante Guy, Duncan Story, whoever. Duncan Story, if you're out there.
Give us a shout.
Give us a shout.
Click on the link on the. Obviously, you are aware of Niagara 411, so you might be watching our stream right now. So give us a Holler.
Now, here, I do want to just bring in the updates from Harmony Jewelers themselves because I believe they are back open.
Wow.
2 locations, Grimsby and Dunville.
I want to talk to these people at some point, Kevin, if they'll come on and talk to us.
I mean, look, it's just business as usual. But at some point, I think, there you go, we're back open.
From our family to yours, we look forward to welcoming you back to our Grimsby location. Community can't be stolen. Look at that. That's a cool line.
I think I saw a photo of them with the, at this point anyway, the front glass being boarded over, like
But
they got plywood up right now.
Is there some sort of personal vendetta against this family or against this business? For over 50 years, our community has had our back with the recent actions taken upon not only our store, but our town. We've been overwhelmed with support and gratitude. That's why we've decided to move our highly anticipated vault sale event to an exclusive online event. Well, I can't say as I blame them for that. Plus, we're giving another 10% off on all items to thank you, our community, for always being there for us.
So they get smash and grab and they decide to throw a sale. I mean, talk about supporting your community.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a regular sale apparently that they have, but they're not doing it on site, which
I mean, there's got to be.
Just seems to me there's something behind the scenes that you just got to go, what? What?
I mean, that was insane, but you're right. Crowbar Vigilante guy, who are you?
Yeah.
Expose yourself.
Yeah.
He had to be maybe from a nearby store. I mean, he was dressed in a suit.
It looked like he was in a suit, didn't it?
Yeah, I assumed at first when I was first watching him, when
was
this was
pretty
all
well
unfolding, that he
Maybe
probably
he was
worked-
another local business guy.
I think maybe that's... People must know who he is in Grimsby.
Oh, somebody knows that guy. And he probably doesn't want any notoriety because when these guys are arrested, when they find out whoever owns the car, will have to pay for broken glass. I don't know. I'm just kidding. But wouldn't it be good if every citizen would step up and take some kind of affirmative action, if you will, against folks like that? But when things are happening, you're kind of frozen in the moment. And as Kevin said, there was a rumor that one of these guys had a gun. Well, you're not gonna take a crowbar to a gunfight,
Now, I don't know, Lee, would you say that the real hero here is the guy that threw water on the car?
Maybe so. But the thing is, there's somebody else that, if you look at this video, there's somebody else that suffered because of this, and it was because of Crowbar Guy. Because when they were trying to escape in that white Honda, they backed up hard, and they backed up to the car that was behind them. So right here, bam, there's a car behind them. So whoever owned the car behind them said, "Hey, I didn't do anything. I was just parked here on Main Street." And this dude backed into me because somebody was bashing him with a crowbar. Wow. Anyway, there we go. Bank of Grimsby, bank draft. $814.78 to Crowbar Vigilante Guy.
Now, there you go. There's a photo now of Harmony Jewelers where they boarded up there. They obviously not plywood like I suggested. They did a real nice job of that.
Well, yeah. But why? Why so many times Harmony Jewelry people? And I saw the name Kevin who put one of the posts up there. Kevin, if somebody from Harmony Jewelers could give us a shout, that would be awesome as well. Just click on the link and go to the green room and have a chat with us because, man, we feel for you. Especially the number of times that you've been targeted by these criminals. Why you? Is there somebody out there that really doesn't like you that you know about? Oh, I hope the cops find these folks. But Kevin, again, it hasn't been just Grimsby. There have been cities all over southern and southwestern Ontario that have been targeted by these smash and grab jewelry heist folks. It's not just here. It's been rampant in malls all over Ontario and Toronto. And what happened at the Penn Centre? Remember, there was that group of people that went running through the Penn Centre, and people tried to apprehend them before and or after they smashed and grabbed into a jewelry store located at the Penn. It's not an isolated incident by any stretch of the imagination. There was another story. Been lots of stories over the last couple of weeks. So I want to talk to you first about our sponsors. We appreciate the fact that we have Gales Gas Bars as a continuing sponsor. Other people that support this program: Sandra's Home Healthcare, compassionate in-home care and personal service support worker services since 2005. 20 years now. It's hard to believe. Sandra D'Alessandro and her group have been in business for 20 years. They have been serving the Niagara region's home care industry at the highest level over that time. They take immense pride in providing clients with dignified support services that enable them to remain in the comfort of their own home. And if you have an elderly relative or you are a person that falls into that category, you know how important being comfortable in your own home really is. And they'll work with you on that. Sandra's Home Healthcare Services, setting the bar for PSW-style care in Niagara. Thank you very much. Verge Insurance Group for auto, home, business, life insurance, whatever your insurance needs are, at the right price, the right coverage for your right circumstances. Operating since 1953 in the region of Niagara, located on Ontario Street in St. Catharines. Thank you, Mark Shirk and your crew, for your continued service to Niagara. Also, Ace Alignment, we are just thrilled to have you continuing in your support of the program. Owner-operator is Janice Purdy, head mechanic Darren Miller, senior mechanic Matt Crompton. The little business that does a big job. Ace Alignment, located just over on North Street off Geneva behind the police station in St. Catharines. Wheel alignments and brakes and suspensions and front end repairs and oil changes and MTO inspections and whatever you need for all kinds of vehicles, be they high performance, be they a mom van or a truck, whatever you need. Try Ace Alignment. And also our Mac guys for everything Apple in Niagara. The best of the best of the best are all at Mac Outpost. This location is on Lake Street in St. Catharines in the north end, in the Tim Hortons Dollar Tree Plaza, across from Dawn's Lighting in the north end of St. Catharines on Lake Street. And they've been around. They've been around almost longer than computers, which is kind of hard to believe. 25 years. Sean has been in business with Mac Outpost, and his head tech, Derek, these guys, everything, not just sales. You don't just walk in there and say, I want to buy an iPhone, and there it is, $700, please. They will advise you on whatever software you need, whatever service you need. If you have a problem with one of your devices or some of your software or anything at all, if you are related to an Apple product, they look after you. Apple authorized reseller and service provider in St. Catharines. They're the best. They truly, truly are. So thank you, Mac Outpost, Ace Alignment, Verge Insurance, Sandra's Home Healthcare, and Gales for continuing to support the program. Kevin, you guys at WeeStreem have been pretty busy over the last little while. I know you did the Niagara Falls City Council last night, which you do on a regular basis. How did they, sometimes those are marathon sessions. How long did these guys go?
Last night was all right, but there was a lot of public interest in a couple of proposed bills.
Yeah.
So a lot of community members there getting engaged in municipal politics. Outside of that, we're going to be helping out a technical organization and a religious organization. Next week, they're both hosting conferences, and then as would happen, we'll be streaming a funeral next week as well. And such is life. But if you run across any of those in your professional or personal life and think you might need some help, by all means.
You know, that's an interesting, we haven't talked about that aspect of your business for a while. And, well, you don't want to talk about funerals as a good time, obviously. There are many instances in which families cannot be in the places that they all want to be it weddings, be it some sort of birth celebration, be they funerals, some sort of family reunion. There are all kinds of reasons that friends and family might want to get together in one place, and for some reason, a lot of or a number of people are not able to participate in person. And that's where a streaming service like WeeStream can be just absolutely priceless, because you can have the family and you can have everybody there. And if you want to have people share this with you in real time, but they can't make it in real time, this is a prime solution.
You're bang on, Lee. One of the things that also crops up in reality, and I think this is the reality for Friday, is capacity issues. Right here, they're going to the traditional family church, but it only probably fits about 50 people. So there's an alternative location. We'll stream it. They can participate there, all gathered. So you get that interaction personally, but gathered in another location that can hold more people.
I understand that the Vatican contacted you to stream the conclave, but you were just too busy.
We were just too busy.
Yeah. Well, it's too bad, because that could have been a good show.
No, thank you very much, Lee, for that plug. And if anybody ever thinks they need our services, all you got to do is drop a comment. We read all the comments, so you can get in touch with me that way. But of course, if you stream, or if you just look for WeeStream online, you can find us there. Anyway, Lee, I want to get on with the show, and this was kind of a scary post that Nick put up. I think scary because we all drive these roads all the time.
And we've all wondered what would happen if something smashed into your car, because we hear about these things. Here was the post. I was coming back from Niagara Falls towards Thorold on Thorold Stone Road. As soon as we passed Thorold Tunnel, someone threw a big stone from one of the bridges. We were told by the cops that this has been happening a lot. I think it happens more than we actually hear about. Joining us on the program is Shami Haq. Did I say that right, Shami?
You did.
All right, man.
Nice to meet you guys. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, thanks for being on the program. That's got to be one of the most shocking things that could happen to somebody while they're driving their car. Walk us through what happened.
So, it was my brother's birthday. We were coming back from Toronto, and I had to drop one of my friends in Niagara Falls. So, as we were coming out of the Thorold Tunnel, as you know, there's a construction going on in Thorold Tunnel. There's only one lane. As soon as you come out, I was switching lane, and as soon as I go underneath one of those two bridges, all of a sudden I heard a huge thud, and I'm like, whoa, what just happened? And I'm looking at my windscreen, and it's all smashed up. And my wife was sleeping, and my brother was in the back seat. So, none of us knew what just happened. I parked my car on the side of the road. On the side, we got out of the car. We checked. The front of the car is messed up. And my brother, he ran back towards the bridge to see who it was. And yeah. None of us knew what happened, and we're just assuming someone threw a big stone, because there was a big stone on the side of the highway, or in the middle of the highway.
Right. So then what do you do? Did you call the cops, or did you drive home? What did you do after
No,
that?
the first thing we did was call cops right away, and they directed us to OPP. It was a cold morning. It was around 3:30 a.m. We were shocked and we were shivering.
Wow. This was in the middle of this happened in the middle of the night?
Yes.
Who stands on a bridge at 3 o'clock in the morning and drops a stone onto somebody's car?
I have no idea.
Holy cow.
I've never heard this ever happen before, so I didn't even know this was going around.
Well, I don't know that it's, I guess as per your post, the police said that this is happening more lately, but this used to happen from time to time. All the time I was growing up, like pranksters or like hooligans would do these terrible things just to cause mischief. So it's not something that's totally new, but for me it's pretty crazy that it happens at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I mean, we're just lucky that none of us got injured.
Yeah.
Luckily, my wife was sleeping. Her eyes were closed. If she was sitting in her normal position, if her eyes were closed, God knows.
I mean, it could have taken you right off the road into a terrible accident that would have been really
Anything
tragic.
could have happened.
All right, so Obviously, I say obviously, I would think that your insurance company is going to be able to cover this under some part of your policy. I hope so. You're not out-of-pocket expenses or anything.
So my car was literally a month old. Literally, it has no kilometers on it.
No.
Yeah.
It was new?
I got it literally last month. And the car got totaled, and I have to look for another car.
It was totaled?
Yeah, it got totaled.
Because of this rock?
Yes.
And it was almost brand new?
It was brand new.
Wow. All right,
Yeah.
So is there any way that the police said that they can investigate this and perhaps find who did it? I think it's probably a slim chance, but...
So when we called cops, 2 officers showed up in 2 different cars. One parked beside us and talked to us. The other one, he took the rock off the road and he went racing towards the bridges to see who did it.
Right.
After that, I don't know what happened, or if they are looking for someone, because they didn't give us much details.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Shami, let me ask you, do you know what bridge it was? As you come through the Thorold Tunnel, and here, I'll throw a picture of it now. I know you can't see it, but we can. You come to that Pine Street
I was thinking it must be
overpass.
like the Pine Street overpass.
But then there's the pedestrian one, I think, just beyond that as well. Do you have any idea?
I have no idea. It was all of a sudden, we were like in shock.
I guess. So, you must have had to get your car towed then. If it was in that bad a shape, at 3 o'clock in the morning, did you have to get it towed?
No, the cop said if you could drive it home, drive it home. My house was only another 3 minutes away, so I just drove it.
You could drive it. And yet and yet the insurance company still tells you that it's a total, that it's a write-off.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, gee whiz. That's terrible. Oh. Now, are you guys okay mentally? Is there any sort of like PTSD stuff left over? Are you okay?
I'm okay, but my wife is shaken up. She had a lot of accidents. Her mom, I can't tell you her story. Her mom had a really serious accident, so it messed her up a little bit.
Wow. Well, I mean, our hopes for a full emotional recovery go out to you and your family. And you said your brother was in the back seat. Was he sleeping as well at the time?
He was on his phone. He's fine.
Okay.
He's young.
Yeah, he's my brother. He's all right.
Now, Shami, now I'm assuming, and maybe you covered this, but it had to be like loud enough that everybody woke up, right? Like, did your wife wake up?
Everyone woke up. There was glass everywhere. So as soon as we got home, obviously my wife had to change her clothes. There was glass all over her.
Wow.
And then what about your car? I mean, I know they said they wrote it off, but was your windshield all smashed in? Was it partially smashed in? How about the body of the car and things like that?
Windshield was completely smashed. What's it called? The dashboard was smashed. The hood was smashed. I could see a structural damage too.
That's what I was trying to. How do you? I can see there being a significant repair bill, but how do you write off almost a brand new vehicle? Now, I'm
assuming it's because of the structure.
Right. If there was some structural damage, or the other thing that can happen, I heard, is there's sometimes the computer system, the brains of the vehicle are like just underneath the hood, and if that gets crushed or damaged, the car is pretty much done. So maybe something like that happened too. Wow. Well, Shami, thank you for sharing your story. Oh, I do have one more question. When the police were telling you that, there's a lot.
Oh, there's the alert.
Okay, hang on, everybody. This is the Canada Alert Ready test system that they promised was going to be happening across the country. Sorry, Shami, for the interruption, but we knew this was going to be happening. We knew this was going to be happening. When the police were telling you that this is happening, or there's a lot of this going around, did they elaborate on that a little bit more? Like, is this really happening a lot in Niagara?
They just said it's been happening a lot, and they said it's usually kids or homeless people. That's all they said.
All right. Well, it's a good warning for all of us and any of us to, before you go under a bridge, make sure you look up and see if there's anything there. What I'm still incredulous the fact that this happened. I can see it happening at 8 or 9 o'clock at night when people are out goofing around like juvenile delinquents. But at 3 o'clock in the morning, who the hell's worried about throwing a rock on a car? I don't get it.
And there were 2 cars in front of me. They got lucky. I guess I was the unlucky one.
Wow. Well, man, I'm sorry, but I'm glad you're all okay, because it could have been very tragic. So for that, we should be thankful, and we appreciate you coming on here to give us all a warning about what to look out for, Shami. Appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. Hope everything is okay. Hope you get a nice car and it doesn't cost you too much.
Thank you so much.
All right, man. Bye.
Have a great day, guys. Bye.
Sheesh, yeah, you too. You know, Kevin, it makes you wonder what sort of stars roll around the universe that brings these forces together at any one moment in time for any reason, be it good, be it bad, or indifferent, that these symbiotic things just sort of pop up. I don't know. The secrets of the universe continue to confound us. Why they happen and why they happen to certain people at certain times, and you can't see it coming. You can't figure it out.
Yeah, it's crazy, like you said, right? And as you're alluding to, it's the butterfly wing effect or whatever it is. But those 2 cars in front of them, they just probably kept on driving and didn't know. They still probably don't know to this day that
know.
They narrowly missed, because you're going.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the speed limit there might be 60 or whatever, but we all know you're going 100 by the time you come up through the tunnel there. So that rock was probably like airborne as the first 2 cars went under it.
There was a movie many years ago starring Steve Martin, and it wasn't a comedy really, but he was the star of the show, and it was called L.A. Story. And it was a series of events that took place, much like this, just sort of for unexplained reasons. And it stuck with me only for one reason, is the fact that there was one line in the show, and it was somebody saying, listen, life is like swimming with sharks. Crime is like avoiding sharks. If you happen to be in the water at the right time when the shark swims by, you're lunch. If you happen to be in one particular moment when the criminal happens to cross your path, that's the way it happens. And it was like, if you happen to cross the shark's path, you're lunch. And we never know when we're going to be lunch and when we're going to get home for dinner. And that's kind of the scary part about life. You just never know what the hell is going to happen, when, where, or by whom. And thank goodness that Shami and his family are okay. But doesn't it bother you, Kevin, that somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning is on some bridge throwing stuff off on people?
Yeah, it's very scary. But I can't live my life assuming that I'm going to have a rock thrown at me every time I go under an overpass.
No,
I mean, that guy's just coming home. Like you said, he's just coming home at night.
But I know, but that's what I'm saying. You can't predict these things. But it is a good idea to be aware that this crap happens. And if you're going under a bridge, just get under it in a hurry. Or if you're driving a truck and you just rented it, don't go under a low bridge. Remember that one?
One in Welland. Oh, gosh.
That's still a story that I find kind of funny.
Now, Lee, speaking of kind of weird and odd vehicle stories,
yes.
This one was odd, and it was in a Niagara Falls parking lot.
Now, Shirley, you've probably seen the William Shatner show, The Unexplained. How did this happen? Well, this is what we're here to find out. You know, that kind of thing? Well, this one, I have no idea how it happened, and I don't know how anybody could explain it unless it's somebody that was there or somebody that was in the car. Dorchester Road. This is a suburban, downtown area street, Niagara Falls, behind the TD Bank. A vehicle flipped upside down. This is a strip mall parking lot.
Yeah, just like right here. I think it's at the.
The victim was inside the vehicle. Fire department is on the scene. They at this time when they did this post, they'd safely removed the victim from the vehicle. Now I could see somebody having an incident and getting into an accident in a parking lot. Happens all the time. But how does that happen? You're not going 80 kilometers or 80 miles an hour. I wouldn't think. How does that vehicle in a strip mall parking lot on Dorchester Road in Niagara Falls end up upside down?
How does that happen, Lee? I mean, look, this is just
I know, it's a rhetorical question. Nobody can.
There you go. It's a single lane road. You're approaching the intersection. You get this right-hand turn lane. I mean, do you hit this stump and go airborne?
But if that's the case, you got to be going fast.
And then how do you end
I don't know how high my voice can get. But
how do you flip over like that? And yet none of the other vehicles seem to be touched.
It's
crazy.
It's a conundrum wrapped up in an enigma. I don't know. How does that happen in a strip mall parking lot in a downtown area or a suburban downtown area of a city, anywhere? Like when the cops showed up, or the EMTs or whatever, like, wouldn't you be looking at like the RCA dog? Like, what happened here? Nobody knows what I mean by RCA dog, probably, but I'll explain it later. But that's just bizarre, just absolutely bizarre. Oh yeah, we have naked people in Welland too, walking across the street. That was a story that happened.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that one either, Lee. I mean, what? Well, this is...
I think we have a mental disturbance.
Yeah, it was almost really not a story.
But it's not really a story. I think it's some poor person that is suffering from a mental defect of...
Yeah, I can't really see it. There you go.
One reason or other. But
now, I know, but why did you rush to the scene?
I did not rush.
Well, sorry, it says police on scene.
Oh, yeah.
No, sorry.
Okay.
Where do you want to go here, Lee?
Well, we've got there's an annual event. How about a couple of good news stories? The annual bridge, U.S.-Canada bridge tug of war is set to take place. When does that happen?
It's happening this Saturday.
This Saturday. There we go. It's been a great fundraiser and a great fun event. And considering all the things that are going on between the United States and Canada right now, it is something to bring us together as it does every year. The Niagara Regional Police Service proud to announce his participation in the 57th Annual International Law Enforcement Tug-of-War, taking place this Saturday on the Rainbow Bridge. The NRPS men's and women's tug-of-war teams will face off against the United States law enforcement counterparts in this long-standing tradition, battling it out at the center of the international border in a spirited show of camaraderie and cross-border cooperation. The event's free. It's open to the public at 1:45 p.m. Saturday. NRPS teams will march proudly down Clifton Hill, led by the Chief's Honor Guard and the award-winning Niagara Regional Police Pipe Band. The main event kicks off at 2 o'clock sharp as NRPS and U.S. law enforcement teams meet in the middle of the Rainbow Bridge for an exciting tug-of-war. Persons coming to watch the event are asked to consider bringing a non-perishable donation to support Project Share of Niagara Falls. All right. Now, what I don't know is if something happens that one team gets pulled across the border, is there a tariff involved? Is there a 25% tariff involved in something coming into Canada? Like if we pull their team into our country, that hasn't been articulated yet, but I don't know.
Well, this looks like last year's team, but I did note there, Lee, at the bottom, if you are going to go watch, you will have to present a valid passport or a Nexus card. So you can't just walk onto the bridge and go watch, but if you've got a passport, you got a Nexus, then you can hop on over.
Okay, so good luck. I'm glad stuff like that still happens and that there is some kind of still fun and friendly competition and camaraderie between our two countries, because it's very rare these days that you hear good stuff, and there are a lot of good things that Canadians and Americans share, and unfortunately they've been overshadowed by recent events. So hopefully we'll be able to get past that. All right, so we chatted with this young man a couple weeks ago when they were in the hunt against the Fort Erie team, and they're in a heated battle right now for the Sutherland Cup. Tyler Bielby, head coach of the St. Catharines Falcons, is back on the program. Tyler, welcome back to the show. You don't look any older.
Maybe feel a few days older. That's for sure.
Maybe a little grayer, but not older.
That's right. That's right.
So you had you and your gang had a hell of a game last night.
Yeah, it didn't go quite the way we would expect it. We had a long bus ride home from Chatham as a result, but it's too late in the season to be pitying ourselves. So make a day, sun shining.
No, I mean, so right now you're taking on the Chatham Maroons.
Yep.
For the Sutherland Cup Championship, which in itself is kudos to you guys for making it to the finals. So that's the first thing to say. Way to go! You got this far. You know, you're in the hunt.
That's right.
You're down 2-1. Game 4 is tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, Thursday in St. Catharines.
At the 4-pad here in.
That's correct. Seymour Hannah
in St. Catharines. Now, but when I said a heck of a game, I think if I got my stats right, along with Kevin here, the shots on goal in the first period alone were like 24-11. Chatham 24 to your 11 shots. That's a flurry of activity, and a lot of penalty minutes. There were disqualifications. I mean, what was going on in that game?
Yeah, there was an early penalty in the first period. It allowed them to get off to a real hot start in front of their home crowd. They lost game 2 to us in front of their home crowd, and that barn was packed, and they built momentum early, and they were throwing everything on net, and we had to weather that storm. And got out of the first period 2-1, still very much in the game. And then to your point, you saw some penalties, and we took a major penalty in the middle of the second period, and it started to turn a little bit after that. There wasn't many penalties in the first 2 games. Both teams don't really know each other that well. I think coming into game 3, there's starting to get to know each other a little more, and got a little chippy and a little out of hand on our end, and we got to clean that up.
I was going to say that chippy was the word I was going for. I guess that's a sports term for a little bit more physical than you might have expected in certain ways you don't want, but nevertheless, that's kind of the nature of the sport.
That's right.
So going into game 4, what have you learned? What's not that you want to give away your game plan to the competition, but what do you take into game 4? It's kind of chippy. They're playing hard. You guys are playing hard as well. There's a lot of activity. Nobody's afraid. There was a fight or two in the game as well. So, this is not like a friendly kumbaya competition. You guys are playing hard out there. What do you take into game 4?
Well, first and foremost, it's great to come back on the home ice. And if you asked us 2 months ago, would we be okay down 2-1 in the Sutherland Cup final, coming back home? We're going to embrace that, and we're playing a real good team. So the biggest message coming into game 4 is don't beat yourself. This is a good enough team. They will beat you if you're going to beat yourself, and so play between the whistles and just get back to it. It's a new day. That's the biggest thing. It's too late in the season to dwell. We just got to be ready for game 4.
And I think one of the reasons we've got you back on the program as well is the fact that we're trying to fill this building with spectators. As you said, they had a full barn in Chatham now, which makes it, because there is. Let's put it this way: I know the area. There isn't a whole lot to do in Chatham, so their hockey team is pretty much the only, pardon the pun, game in town. Here in Niagara, there's a lot of stuff going on around us. The Falcons are, while they're an important part, they're just one part of all the things that are going on in Niagara. So we would really like to make an appeal to get people to fill that building tomorrow night, right?
Yeah, I think, what's great is, first and foremost, is we've had great support for decades. And, when the Ice Dogs came to town, naturally we were going to lose a little bit of that support. That being said, we still have a lot of great loyal fans. We just encourage the community. These boys, they're experiencing something right now for a lot of them that might be the high of their career in hockey. And they've earned the opportunity to represent their community proud. And so we encourage the Niagara region to come out and support us. The louder, come one, come all. We want you there. The boys will embrace that. Chatham had some home ice advantage, definitely, with that support last night, and we look to answer back on home ice on Thursday.
There is nothing like a home crowd in any sport. Rooting for their guy or their guys or their women or their boys or girls. There's nothing like knowing that you've got couple thousand people in your corner and rooting you on. It can be very inspiring and motivational, and we hope that folks can come out. What's game time tomorrow, Tyler?
7 p.m. puck drop. Seymour Hannah, warm-ups start at 6:30.
And it's going to be a nice night. There's nothing to stop you weather-wise, and best of 7. You're down 1 at this point in time. Game 4 tomorrow night, and we'd love to have the crowd there. And what are the, by the way, what are the, I should know this, but I don't. What are the ticket prices to come in and watch a game?
Yeah, so I know that, I should probably make sure I know this too, right? But no, it is the best dollar we're going to spend on a sporting event.
So it's not going to break the bank, that's for sure.
No, I believe the kids are free. Seniors around $12. I think the adult ticket is $15, maybe even $10. So we understand people work hard, but I'll tell you, if you're willing to spend some of your hard-working dollars on supporting these boys, they won't let you down on Thursday night.
Kevin?
Just got a question for you here, Coach. Just talking more like inside hockey type stuff. If I were to take a look just at the box score from last night's game, I see your team go to the box a bunch for unsportsmanlike conduct. That's stuff you can control. I also see, giving up 24 shots in the first period really puts you behind the 8 ball, 49 shots overall. As a coach, where are you focused, and what can you control?
Well, we just have to keep controlling the message. And a lot of those misconducts towards the late of the game is the refs trying to take control, just getting guys off the ice. But we need our guys on the bench. We need our guys on the ice. And that has to be the message. That's how we've gotten to this point. Listen, if we couldn't control it, we wouldn't be in the Sutherland Cup final. We got away from us, and now it's important that we keep learning. We talk about it a lot. I think that's a great question, especially with amateur athletes. We need to teach them right to the final buzzer. And so we're going to continue to do that as coaches and make sure they understand that those things will beat themselves. And this time of year, you can't beat yourself. So,
Tyler, for people that aren't dyed-in-the-wool hockey fans, what necessitates or what is the catalyst behind a misconduct call? What does that entail?
Well, I guess you'd have to ask each referee what they think of that. Well,
it's very subjective then.
Listen, at the end of the game, it could be as simple as two guys just chirping back and forth at each other and inciting something that the refs don't want to see happen. So they'll deal with it by really, and they can send a message. You put a young man in the middle of the game in the penalty box for 10 minutes, it can shut up the rest of the kids pretty quickly. And so but it can be anything from a couple punches back and forth that aren't seen as fights, or using your mouth because you can't control your emotions in that moment. And that's the thing. We got to play between whistles, and our emotional intelligence is going to be key moving forward.
Back to you, Kev.
And to that effect, I know one guy on your team got into a fight there in the third period. He took a whole litany of penalties. Anything carrying over? Everything else is kind of 10-minute misconduct, like you said, looked like chirping after the whistle, something like that. I know your captain also took a 4-minute at the end of the second period. And what's that? Does that sticking his hand inside somebody else's face mask? I haven't seen that call before, face masking.
Yeah, it's not called often. It was last night, and the gentleman was wearing a bubble. But, I mean, listen, you got to keep your hands down. There's no reason for it. Those are the things that we just have to make sure we're not doing tomorrow. But listen, our captain's shown up for us all year. He's our MVP. He's leading the province in points. I'm extremely fortunate to coach that young man. And at that point, the game had gotten away from us. But yeah, the fight will carry a game for an instigator for our young man. But no, there was another suspension removed from him, a penalty that was removed by the league that they didn't feel to be justified.
So I have another question, because I am always almost more interested in what happens behind the scenes and in locker rooms in just about any sport, be it singular or be it team sports. So after, well, not just after last night, any game, when your group gets together and they talk about things, and after the initial adrenaline calms down a little bit, and I know these are young guys, they haven't reached the maturity of their thinking, perhaps all of them at this point in time, because of where they are. Do you find that these young men learn from this and take those lessons forward? I've often wondered about the conversation in the locker rooms after the fact, and if they learn from each other and what happened, and sort of think and talk as a team. Does that happen? And I hope it does. I haven't been there, but how does that happen?
Absolutely. It starts with your leadership and us coaches. We have to make sure that we're communicating with the boys, but it happens a lot, and because so much of this game is your mental toughness and your emotional intelligence, and so you have to have a short-term memory, especially this time of year, right? Like, there's 2 teams left in the entire province. We're playing hockey in May. We're showing up to the arena tomorrow, and there'll be people playing soccer beside us, right? And so, it does. And last night in particular, we're in Chatham. We got kids that were going to high school this morning, getting in at 2 a.m. They got a lot of other things on their plate outside of just hockey. But before we left that parking lot, I asked the bus driver, sit still for a minute. And we addressed the team, and we made sure they had things to think about on the ride home. But the messaging is positive this time of year. The messaging is we know what it takes to win, and that's the reminder, because we're not here. We're not conference champions if we haven't been able to work being down 2-1. Yeah. Just remember, for Erie series, we were down 2-1, railed off 3 wins. So those are the touch points you're referring to, I think. Yeah. And that was the reminder last night. And we get together at the rink today, and it's not so much about X's and O's as it is about being together and embracing these opportunities together, because I'm so fortunate to be with the team this time of year. It creates bonds for a lifetime. And we're 3 wins away from even strengthening that bond. And that's what we're just going to continue to work on.
You're one win away from a whole new season.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And hey, we're coming back home, and we can't wait to play in front of our crowd.
Yeah, I really hope everybody gets down to the 4-pad tomorrow night and absolutely jams that place.
Yeah.
We're showing, while we're doing this interview here, we're showing all the highlights from last night's game, and they just showed the crowd. I mean, you want to talk about getting the value on your admission last night. This was one hell of a hockey game that you guys all played. And just because I got a personal connection, I want to talk about, probably the youngest player that you're fielding tonight. And I remember when I was playing junior, and all of a sudden, I'm 18, 19 years old, and Chris Kelly walks in. It's like a 15-year-old. I'm like, well, who's this kid? And then you realize that, oh, my God, this 15, 16-year-old's one of the best players on our team. And no wonder he went on to have a 14, 15-year NHL career. And I'm looking at Alex Forrest, St. Catharines guy, played some AAA in Oakville, drafted high into the OHL, and then you guys bring him into the fold here in the playoffs. I know he kind of was peppered into the lineup throughout the season. How has he changed the dynamic of the back end? Is he getting power play time? And where is he slotting in amongst these players that are a lot older than he is?
Well, he has an ability, first and foremost, to be a one-man breakout, and meaning that, he can relieve pressure for us with his feet, his agility. He's a heck of a talent at the end of the day. So it doesn't matter how old he is. He's playing, he's helping us win. And he was one of the young men, too, that got a misconduct last night, because he's also engaged. He's engaged physically. He's engaged. He's a competitor. And Kitchener is a very lucky hockey team. They've got a really good hockey player out of this guy, and a great pick by them. And I'll remember these moments with Alex when he's doing much bigger things down the road. And it doesn't just stop with him. Hayden Jeffrey, our goaltender, I know there's a lot of listeners right now that watched him beat the London Knights this year. That's the best amateur hockey team
question
in the world. And Hayden got called up when they were on a 10-11 game losing streak, and he broke that streak against London, and then helped them gain the point the next night to solidify their playoff spot. And it's Hayden's birthday there, I think, this week, and we love him. He's our crest guy, and he's done some great things. And I know that the Ice Dog fans really enjoyed watching him play. So we encourage them once again to come see him tomorrow.
I'll tell you, Coach, though, 49 shots against. The 5 guys in front of him got to do a better job if you guys are going to win tomorrow.
Absolutely. You're right about that, and that will be the message tonight.
All right, mate. Tyler Bielby, thank you very much. Great job all season long. Good luck to you and your crew, and we'll be watching. Thanks, man.
Thanks, gentlemen. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Bye. All right, St. Catharines Falcons, 4-pad, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Be there or be square, as we used to say back in the old days. Great team, great season. We've had some great sports teams, Kevin, in this area, and of course we've got harbins back to conversations we had with the Welland Jackfish folks. They're getting ready for another season here in Welland, and they always put on a great entertaining product as well. So I'm sure we're going to be talking to the Jackfish sometime over the next few weeks as well as they get their season ramped up for 2025. Some great sports and entertainment products here in Niagara, without doubt. Want to take a moment out again to thank our sponsors before we introduce our musical guests for today, as we always have a Niagara-related music act to, as we say, play us off the stage. I can't believe the show's almost over already. It's flown by. But thank you to Gales Gas Bars for continuing to support the program. Sandra's Home Healthcare, setting the bar for home healthcare service and PSW-type services across Niagara. It wasn't very long ago that new licensing regulations and protocols were put in place for people that provide personal service worker-type care and home health care. And Sandra's Home Healthcare leads the way when being accredited and following all those rules and abiding by all those regulations, because a lot of health providers have fallen off the table because of not being able to get the proper licensing, but Sandra's leads the way. They're located at the NHS location, by the way, on 4th Avenue here in St. Catharines. And a lot of that reason is because they provide a lot of hospital-to-home transition health care as well, which is very important. People that are coming out of hospital, they're going home. It's a situation they haven't been in before. Their family is looking for a way to help them make that transition and make it seamless. And that's one of the reasons why Sandra's Home Healthcare business is located. Their head office is located there. So 24/7, if necessary. They take great care in matching their customer with their service workers so that there's a real symbiotic relationship there. Great work. Verge Insurance Group, Mark Shirk and his group, be it auto, home, business, or life, they've been in business here in St. Catharines, operating off Ontario Street here since 1953. Believe it or not, they're older than me, and I'm older than dirt. So just a great bunch of folks that will, regardless of your insurance needs, find the right company to support you and your family and your loved ones and friends as you go forward. Verge Insurance, thanks for continuing to support us.
Lee, I just realized I turned around there. Did you see that glorious name on the back?
Sundin! there it is. How long have you had that jersey?
How long has he been out of the league?
I don't know.
That long. Keep it in pristine condition. Only bring it out for special occasions. And tonight is a special one.
Well, that's a holy relic. Would you not call a Sundin Leafs jersey a holy relic?
Authentic Leaf jersey from either I'd say late 90s.
Yeah.
I think late 90s for Sundin. And I proudly wear this whenever I get the chance to go to a Leafs game or support the Leafs.
And your fancy schmancy new hat. That's a nice hat.
Hey, nobody's going to taunt you for wearing a Sundin jersey, right? Can't say anything. All the classics, right? Can't chirp somebody in a Sittler jersey or a Clark jersey.
No negatives about Sundin, that is for sure. Can I continue to talk about people that pay us now?
Okay, talk a little more, because I got to go set up that other camera.
Okay.
Yeah, say really nice things about Asa Lyman.
I will. Janice Pretty and her family go way back in the motorsports business, Merrittville and whatnot. Long history being associated with automotive businesses and backgrounds and racing, etc. And as all part of that, out came Ace Alignment. Ace Alignment is a small but incredibly efficient automotive support business located over here on North Street, just off Geneva Street, a stone's throw from where we are here on St. Paul, just behind the reasonably new Niagara Regional Police Service station that's located on Welland. They're right behind there on Little Street, North Street. Two guys in there that really know and you know what, we've asked to have them on to have a conversation, but like many skilled tradespeople in all lines of work, they would rather stay out of the limelight, not in front of the camera. So it's a little bit like pulling teeth to ask these fellas to come on. But we can say really nice things about him, as Kevin mentioned. Darren Miller's the head mechanic over there. Senior mechanic is Matt Crompton. And either one of those guys are fellas you can talk to about whatever questions that you have. You don't have to just go in there with a problem. You can just go in with a question, and they'll send you in the right direction. Be that wheel alignments or brakes or suspensions or oil changes or whatever you need. You know, whatever you would like from your homegrown mechanic. There it is at Ace Alignment. Thank you so much for continuing your support. Janice Pretty, always appreciate it. The Mac Outpost. What can I say about these guys that I haven't already been over the top on? It sounds really, really simple to say for everything Apple in Niagara. And they say if you're gonna market your business, you gotta have a 10-second elevator conversation. Like if you ran into somebody in an elevator, you're trying to sell something, you're trying to promote yourself, you gotta have like a 10-second sell. Well, that's even less than 10 seconds. Everything Apple in Niagara. I think that takes maybe 3 seconds to say, max. That's all you need to know. Apple authorized reseller service provider located in St. Catharines, servicing the Niagara region's Apple community since 1998. When in 1998, I think the only Apple I knew had a core in it. You know? Well, I guess these apples have a core in them too, don't they, Kevin?
They do.
Kind of.
Yes.
Anyway, Sean, the owner, Derek, the head tech, great guys, and they really know what they're doing. If you have anything going with your iPhone, your Mac, your iPad, whatever, go in and say, hey, I got a question. And they're there for you, regardless of what that might be. We're working on a new sponsor, which we're very, very excited about, but we're not going to spill those beans just yet until it's time. So that's coming up very, very soon. As always, thank you to Nick at Niagara 411, and thank all of you that support Niagara 411 and contribute to that Facebook page. And in connection with that, of course, helping us do what we do so that we can keep Niagarans connected with Niagarans, because that's what we and the support that you guys have and ladies have shown for this program is astronomical. We had 120,000 plus views on our election coverage night that we did, in spite of Elections Canada dropping the ball with their technology. We thank you for sticking with us to try to dig out what was happening in the Niagara ridings throughout the federal election. 120,000 views, Kevin, plus, which is a huge number for a show like ours.
Yeah, it's very huge, considering that we only covered Niagara. What do we have here? Like 450,000 population.
Yeah.
And, you know, you eliminate all the children and assume that they're not too interested in federal politics. So it just goes to show that a service that we're providing for absolutely free. I mean, we just volunteered our time on election night. We didn't attach any sponsors to it.
No.
You and I in the WeeStreem office up there on Secord Drive. And, you know, a couple of microphones, a couple of cameras. Throw it up there, and we were delivering the results that people want, because, as you know, there's a little bit of a dearth of media coverage here in Niagara, especially when it comes to visual coverage. So you
and
can watch.
when I got home, I went onto the national networks and they didn't have much better or more updated information than we did. And I think it was after 1 o'clock in the morning, 1:15, I think I crawled up to bed. And it was just after Carney had made his acceptance speech. Had seen all the other speeches, etc. So it was a long night for a lot of people, and we thank you for sticking with us on that, and we thank you for your support of this show, which has been astronomical. Now, let's set up who's going to play us off the stage here. Lastly Music, I'm going to read this so my eyes aren't going to be with you, is the creative collaboration of twin brothers, Keegan and Andrew Beach, all right? Along with Damon Birdsley and Scott Blake. After years of working together on various music and film projects, this team of four got together. They began as an independent recording project back in 2017, and since then, Lastly has released 7 singles, with a second album debuting back in 2020. They just won the Best Adult Contemporary Song of the past year at the Niagara Music Awards. We bring them to you now with a song in their video for a song called Favorite Color. So this is your Niagara band, Lastly. The song is Favorite Color. Recent award winners at the Niagara Music Awards, for which we thank Todd Brown for putting on, because it was a great event. And again, Kevin, it's always a pleasure working with you. My name is Lee Sterry. We'll see you in a couple of weeks for episode 11 of season 6. Have yourselves a great and safe week and weekend. Cheers.
Saying if you love him, let him go.